Ooh, hello everybody. Welcome back to Cocktails and Rocktails. With me, your most notorious groupie, Alice Rouse, author of We've Got Tonight, The Life and Times of Notorious Groupie Me. Oh, and there's a picture I was going to look at. Give me a moment, you guys. And these books as well, where you can find my merchandise, everything else, down in that description. So go down like it's a back lounge of a tour bus in the 80s. And as you can see, Miss Kristin, Queen Scorpio with a sexual rock and roll scene, still gorgeous, still sitting here next to me, still drinking. We're just going to figure out, we're just going to keep talking until it's illegal for us to talk. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So, and we're still drinking champagne, you guys, so sorry for the informality. We're just sort of babbling today and having a good time. And you guys, I hope you're seeing, like, the chemistry that we had between us, and that you're really getting what I say and, you know, the depth of how far we, not just were in committed, but, what were you going to say?
Oh, nothing. I was just reading the question.
Okay, so we're going to do questions. So everybody, kick up your feet. Let's have some cocktails and questions. We're so cocktailed in. Cheers, big ears. Okay, what's the next question?
You know, somebody did say something about pictures. It just says, can Kristin bring any pictures to share?
Oh.
I have very little pictures. I don't know that we ever prepared ourselves with cameras or anything.
No.
The cell phone thing, like, you didn't have, I mean, if we had this in our hand, it would be different. Yes, I'm just going to say I'm in love with Harry Styles.
She is.
I mean, does like older women, right? No, I have an amazing husband.
Well, I bet you he'd be good in bed. She does have an amazing husband.
I have an amazing husband. But I don't know. You know, Harry actually doesn't live far from me. He lives in the Palisades.
Oh,
me.
really?
Yes.
Nice.
He's out and about a lot.
There we go.
But anyway, we were never really that big of picture takers. Sometimes we'd even think about it and we'd put one of those little disposable cameras in our purse.
But it never came out of the purse.
Totally forget about it. And then we'd be going home at the end of the night or the next morning. And
usually
I'd be like,
morning.
hey, we had our camera and we didn't take any pictures.
Because that was never on our mind. Like, we weren't taking pictures with rock stars. Like, you do see in other books and stuff, girls with these pictures that they took, and that just wasn't us. That was never on our mind.
Right. Okay, then.
I had to press pause because, wow, what just came out of me was could have woken up the room of blue icicles.
It was scary. Come on.
Okay, let's just, there we go.
Okay, anyway.
She has a good tit. She always did.
Yeah, and an ass.
Yeah, she had the Kim Kardashian body before it was cool to have the Kim Kardashian body.
Mm-hmm.
She was a trendsetter before.
Okay, we covered how did we meet. Me beer bonging in the kitchen.
Yeah, beer bonging at Danny's in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Pictures, yeah, we never took pictures. We
Very
thought
rarely.
we would, but then we would get drunk and just get lost in the moment.
Right.
So taking the picture was never like, oh, stop what we're doing. And I don't think we would have gotten really good pictures anyway because we were drunk.
Or drunk plus.
We're on our back.
Oh.
Well, we look good on our backs. Especially now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Where were we? Okay, we covered the David Lee Roth thing.
So, Def Leppard under the stage. Who took us there?
Richie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because the night before was the night where I ditched Rick Savvy for a little bit from the hotel bar. We went on to Tesla's bus because we're like, we need to go smoke some weed, right?
Yes.
Smoked a couple other had a couple other things in my mouth. And Frank let me use his toothbrush after I threw
up. Who was
up.
the one Tesla band member that came on and he was such an ass?
Brian.
Oh, yeah.
The drummer. Or was he the bass player? The bass player.
player.
The drummer, Troy, was married. I don't even remember even seeing him outside
I
of
think we
being
saw
on
him
stage.
once in our room when we were composing songs with Tesla and Def
That's
Leppard.
right. The
Remember?
two groupies living up to their name.
Oh, yeah, that song was composed with us in the room. Anyway, I totally remember that we were all hanging out. It was Frank and Tommy and Richie, and maybe it was Ian.
Joe Elliott came in. Ian
Oh,
was
yeah.
there. Ian
Remember-
was there, and Savvy was there.
Remember, I was
Come
powdering
in.
my nose, and there was a knock at the door.
That's right.
And
You
I
opened the door.
I leaned around, you know, because the mirror was here and the front door to the hotel room was here. And so I leaned around to open the door, and I opened the door, and Joe Elliott says, "Hi, who are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm Kristin. Who are you?"
And we always did that. We never acted like we made them introduce themselves to us.
Yeah. He's like, "I'm Joe," in his English accent, you know. So
I'm
cute.
Joe.
I'm Joe. And I'm like, "All right, well, come on in. We're just making some music in here."
Yeah, they were. And they wrote that song.
Yeah.
They're just two groupies. They're just two floozies living up to their name.
Yep.
And we knew they were using the word floozy because it had to rhyme. I
Yeah.
remember that much.
Yeah.
Because groupies just had one too many syllables. Floozies just
Yeah.
sort of. And we're like, yeah, whatever, dude. We're in a song. And we never pretended to be fucking muses.
No.
What's your take on that shit?
No.
You live in LA. Tell me.
I think I mean, I'm not sure if I agree with that.
We've made it in songs. Every single one of us has.
Yeah.
But we never intended that. That wasn't our purpose.
No.
Because for those girls, like certain people, live in the same town as you do, say, I was there to marry the rock stars. That was the ultimate goal. What the fuck is that?
No. We were there again. We were there just to have a good time.
We are part of a road family.
We just happened to, like, a lot of our really good friends were touring musicians.
That was our social circle.
Yes.
That was it.
I mean, that's why they flew us places. You know?
Yeah.
That's why they took us to different
Was
towns
it you
without
that
us
was there
knowing
with Def
sometimes.
Leppard when Jake, the production manager Jake, was like, all right, ladies, it's time to go home. Let's get your tickets booked. He's like, and Jake was famous for this line when he had to fire one of the roadies, would you like a window seat or an aisle? And so
Yes.
when he was booking our tickets home, he was like, would you like a window seat or an aisle? And I was like, I don't care as long as it's first class.
Mm-hmm.
We had first class flights the way home.
Yes, all the
We
time.
did. Let's zoom in. No kidding. We're empty of champagne. I should have bought a second bottle.
Oh, it's okay. I
There's
still
more
have some.
in there.
No worries. We're good.
We are. But yeah, so, and that Def Leppard time. So, yeah, that night before.
Oh my god.
I
Yep.
forget about all those things. Do you remember coming to my high school that day? That this is how we ended up?
Did you
Let's-
expect me to come? I don't
No!
even- you know,
Just like when I showed up that one time at Motley Crue, and you're like, I have a
Yes.
test. I'm like, not anymore. Well, I waited for you to take
I
the test.
finished the test real quick, and because I was, you know, I was an academic. I was.
And we all were. We were all intelligent, but sometimes school bored us.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
much.
mean-
Like my senior year of high school, I was in beauty college in the day. I was at Valley High School at night. I was working at Burger King, and I was living this life.
What was I doing?
You were in Hawaii, and I remember
But
she and
what
I
was
used
I
to fall
doing?
asleep on the phone together. And I remember one time we were talking, and she's like, "It's so hard to meet the bands here because there's no tour buses on
But
Hawaii."
remember? Yes, that's
Yes,
true.
right.
But remember who I ran into in Hawaii?
Who? I know you ran into a few people.
Oh,
Bochet, Blochet.
yes.
Bochet was the groupie that was here before us, and she was the one I talked about in Def Leppard that used to see Kelly from
Yeah.
LA Guns, but then ditched him for a few hours to go be with the roadie for Def Leppard, and then we all went with Richie from LA Guns Hotel, and ran into Bochet and Kelly was with us, and it was just a disaster.
Yes.
Yes, it was. Never let your rock
So
stars
anyway,
cross
I'm
paths.
living in Hawaii, right? Oh my god, it was just funny. And I run into her at the Bon Jovi concert. And I was like, Bo. And
Who was she with?
She was just with. She wasn't. It wasn't a musician. It was just.
No, there was. I think it was
dude?
that same Def Leppard, the short English bald guy, right?
No.
Brown hair.
No, she was with some young, kind of hot guy.
Oh,
but wasn't.
I mean, Bochet was beautiful.
Yeah, she was really pretty, and she was actually pretty cool. I liked her.
No, she really was. It's just she was more friends with that Cammy side.
Yeah.
And then that day,
isn't that who brought Cammy in?
Yeah, that is.
And then she started hanging out with us because she saw that.
Because Bochet moved out of town.
Right.
She moved to LA, and she's still in LA.
Yeah.
I mean, we had
I've never run into her. I have never run into her.
She's still down there. I think she does like contact or stuff like that. You've lived there for 20-some odd years.
17 years in LA, and then before that, I was in the Bay Area.
Oh, that's right. You were in San Francisco after Seattle.
So I've been in California for 20 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
God, I made it there 6 months. I was like, I'm out.
I don't know. I live in Santa Monica, and it's really close.
And Santa Monica is awesome. That's the only place I could really, really enjoy, you know?
Right.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's fun. I can't leave the sun. I'm here with you and the snow.
It's melting.
It is.
I hate the snow.
It is beautiful, though.
It's nice to watch and then leave.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is. But, okay, there was another question.
Oh, yeah. Let's go back to questions.
And no, we never had the same guys. We talked about that. We never had the same guys.
I don't know that
Did we sleep with some of the same guys or make out with some of the
Lars.
same guys? But not all at the same time. Lars was the only one that had all three of us. I don't think he had Dave and E.
Danny? Me? You? Danny?
Yeah.
That's right.
Danny first, and then things fell apart between me and James and Danny and Lars. And then the Black Tour happened, and we went out to Denver. He met Fran. We came back to Salt Lake City. That's when we had the car wreck.
I wasn't here during the car wreck.
You were in Florida going to roadie school. She was going to roadie school.
I was.
Full Sail.
Yes, I had a degree in recording engineering.
She does. Yep. I mean, but she already kind of did before, because when you're hanging out with the band, people are like, God, how is it that you know so many aspects of the rock and roll world? Well,
because I was always standing at the front of house.
And because we were in the production room, because we were watching the roadies set up, we were watching sound check, we were on that plane, we were in hotel lobbies, we were checking in, checking out. Usually late after the band leaves if we're not on the road with them. But because we were actually truly involved in the rock and roll family. And people are kind of freaked out because I'm the only groupie that actually talks about, like, these aspects. They're like, wow, how do you know? It's because we weren't just there for the photo op.
No.
As you can tell, we didn't take any photos. And we were there as part of this family. The Jersey Boys, that movie, and I saw the musical. And it's about Frankie Valli and all that. And they even say in that musical, there's two worlds for a musician. You have your family at home, you have your family on the road. Right. And while we were on the road, we still mixed in with at home sometimes. Yeah. And still do. Okay. What other questions? Any more questions?
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, somebody asked about the musicians that we saw again and again and again.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes.
All of them.
Adrian Vandenberg?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Remember going to the jewelry store at the Crossroads Mall before the concert, and we were trying on diamond
ring on my finger?
Yep. See, there was this mall across the street from the Salt Palace at the time that had
just a mall.
It was a
mall. It was connected to the Marriott, which made it convenient, you know.
Yeah, and it's not Cross. What is it today? It's what's the name of that mall downtown? Still the same area, still connected to the Marriott. You can still go to the old band hotel, but we would go in that mall with the band guys because they would always need something.
When I was the birthday present, remember that?
A Def Leppard, yes, for that one guy.
I had to go find some bows
for her boobies.
Yeah.
No, I've told that story. People are like, what? I'm like, but it was our choice.
But it was fun.
It was a blast. We were women who actually owned our sexuality, owned our own, and we were young. And, you know, I think we were more advanced. And we had lived such a different life that I think our... Okay, we might have been young and stupid, but I thought we were smarter and older.
Hey, we couldn't have been too stupid. Like, our group of friends were international touring musicians.
We didn't do very good homework, though.
No.
We tried to have them do our homework a couple of times.
Yeah. That's why they're musicians.
Do you remember being with Def Leppard that day when you came and got me from the high school?
Yeah.
And she comes around the corner and I'm all in my computer class. Here she comes in her cute little white leather with the black we were talking about earlier with the rhinestone bustier. And she's like,
I was very overdressed for the late morning, early afternoon crowd.
Well, but we were not overdressed for what we were planning to do.
Totally.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm feeling Def Leppard's in town. So we ended up with Def Leppard downtown.
I'm very intuitive that way.
I got suspended from school the following Monday because it was a weekend.
And then you came and dragged me out of class too one day.
That was for Motley Crue when we got stuck in the elevator.
Oh my god.
When you had to finish your test.
Yes. That fucking elevator.
We tried to pry that bitch open.
We did.
I just remember calling it the room service. I'm like, the only number I know was 4. That's room service.
Right.
Hello.
The only thing I was doing was hanging on to Tommy.
You thought it was his arm. But as we know from the video that came many moons later, she was, and I was kind of claustrophobic, so I was listening to the pretty music on the phone.
I know.
And I was sitting up against Nikki.
Room service. Yeah, can you send me a drink to the elevator that I'm stuck in? What?
I just remember those guys, the techs, opening up that
Who
elevator.
was that one road tech that was in the room with us, and Nikki and Tommy and...
He was the production manager. It wasn't Jake.
But he had like the long curly hair, and he was
I was
kind
thinking
of
of
hot,
someone else.
actually. He was
Oh, I know his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. This other girl, Bridget, that little bitch that moved in with us when Danny and I were in the house on 7th East.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Bridget. Yeah. Oh, what was his name? Dan something or other?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But he was kind of cute. He had really
No, he was totally hot. Yeah, but he was a total douchebag.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how hot they are. If they open their mouth and
douche
comes out, we're done. Rockstar, roadie, mailman, it does not matter.
You know, some of the only pictures that I actually have are the ones from Extreme and...
You have to send me the rest of those pictures because I don't even have any of those. I know Danny does.
Yep, I have them with...
you can't see my rash though.
Gary and...
Do you have the rest from Metallica that one time?
The only picture I have from
It's
Metallica
Jason.
is me and you and Jason.
That one that, yeah. See, we just never took pictures. And that was us being drunk outside of the hotel when we had just come across the street from the gig. Because, you know, we always had to ride the hotel around the block. Or the runner van, that white runner van.
Yeah.
Because they don't travel in limos, people. The Scorpions did.
Yeah, only a few. Motley Crue. They did, remember?
Yeah, they did in Seattle, too, the first time.
Yeah.
Because she and I have both been quite a few places, and people think it's different wherever you go, and it's not.
No, not really.
If you want to go meet the band ladies, advice to groupies, just get off fucking TikTok. Get off.
See where they are.
Don't watch Almost Famous, because things are made for Hollywood. When I sold the rights, because between you and me, I just sent a message to Happy Madison about a month ago.
Oh, nice.
Because, I met him in Vegas. They won't forget that weekend. Nobody forgot us.
No. Nobody.
and I always say that we were the last, like the 80s, and especially Salt Lake City, because it was a groupie capital of the world, and that's been documented at the time.
Yeah.
In Spin Magazine, which is actually Bob Guccione from Penthouse's son, who started that magazine.
Yeah.
It was actually documented at the time that Salt Lake City was this hidden groupie capital.
Oh yeah.
And we were the
we knew
queens
that
of the
a
scene.
long time ago, though.
Yeah, and I'll put links down to Ian Jeffries, because he has Metallica backstage video, because he was tour manager Metallica. He was with Def Leppard. He was with Rat. In fact, there's a scene where he's filming outside the Marriott, and it's spanning, between West Temple, and here's the Salt Palace, and he's going over here, and Kristin and I are actually standing in the background for that.
Yeah.
She's got the lamp.
That was the morning of after the birthday present.
Was that?
I think so. Wasn't it?
I know it was one of the times with Def Leppard.
I think that was the morning.
Because we hung out with Def Leppard a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot of bands would take so much time off.
Mm-hmm.
In Salt Lake.
In Salt Lake, for sure. In any season. They would make sure that they were here for
at least 2 days.
At the very least, they would want to stay overnight. Either they would...
Sorry, I'm still not sure about
Sorry.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Oh.
Sorry, you guys, the bubbles.
There. They're going to her head.
But they would take days off,
they would either come in the night before, stay overnight, do the show, and then leave, or they would roll in the middle of the night right before the show, which would happen at Motley Crue. Remember,
I came and got you from school at 8 a.m.
We were knocking on the door of the
At
bus.
9.
Nobody was awake.
We didn't have a car. We took the bus in our rocker gear because we had to go home. You didn't live too far from your high school.
Right.
And we had to go home, and she changed out of her regular school gear.
Yeah.
Well, you got me for Def Leppard. Fair play.
But anyway, it was funny knocking on the bus door. I mean, how excited were we when we got there at 8, at 9?
There's nobody else there.
But no, we weren't even expecting the buses to be there yet.
No.
And we were like, oh, hey!
Because they were coming from Denver, and we know this world like the back of our hands. We knew how much time it took, that the buses are harder going uphill, so it's going to take extra time
I think
than your
a couple
average
of them
trip.
must have left with the texts and...
Our panties.
From Denver sooner than the other ones. They were done for the night, so they just jumped on the bus.
Yeah.
So, or if they didn't come in the night before, then they would always make sure that they would be able to stay overnight after the show. And then get going at checkout time, which was a couple hours after we all went to sleep.
Yeah, for us it was 1 o'clock because they would just leave us the room keys and say, checkout's 1 o'clock. They'd be gone at 7. We'd still be crashed out.
Room service.
We were pretty spoiled. I mean, it almost made it hard to date in the real world because we had high expectations of being treated well.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
I mean, and interestingly enough, we were young, but the guys that we were hanging out with were definitely all older than us.
But they were still young. I mean,
but not by much. By 4 or 5 years.
When I first met Metallica, that's when you were in Hawaii, I believe.
Yeah.
And James was only 23.
I know.
And we thought that was so much older.
Right. It seemed, right?
But we were discovering the world with all these bands that people find cool and vintage and stuff now. We were all
there
growing up together in this road family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Sorry, we just got back from doing weddings in Bath.
Oh, whatever. I am not Lars Ulrich.
We had an appetite.
God damn.
For a lot of things. Anyway, where were we? I mean, we just keep going back and forth.
That we were just part of this family, and it was just, and that's cool. We could go back and forth.
Yeah.
It's kind of how we were. Our conversations always went. in circles.
Uh-huh.
So you guys, tell us what you would think. Do you want us to do a podcast?
Yeah, do you think? I'm like,
I think we could do a podcast. I mean, she lives in LA. I live here. But
yeah.
I don't
Just
work
let us
anymore.
know. Well, I do. I get people high all day.
Well, but I have to live a dual life. It's hardcore.
Well,
I did work. But it's kind of hard when you're me. I mean,
it's hard when you're Allison to work. It's true.
no, I live in a gray area. No, it's not hard to
No,
work. You know I work my
I
ass
totally
off.
understand.
But I live in this weird
No,
gray
you do.
area of being this like novelty to rock and roll and to being this human being
Yeah.
to the rest of the world.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So that's why Happy Madison. I was good on the balcony. I'll be good
Let's
on
make
TV.
a movie about this. I mean,
No, series.
Oh my God, you
Series.
guys! It would be like a comedy, a series.
It would be like a heartfelt comedy, but it, you know, because we did grow up, we
Yeah.
did learn all these lessons, we did like get to meet all these people, have all these adventures, but we became strong, amazing women, all
Right.
individually in our own right.
Yeah.
And people like are like, what was it each one of you like? We were each, you know, you have the seasons, the spring, winter, summer, fall, or you have northeast, south. We were all our own each little thingy that worked together as a whole.
Yeah. It was fun. At the end of the day, it was just fun. Us looking to have fun.
Yeah.
And we had
And connecting with
so
our tribe.
much fun.
And that's what it was about. It was
Yeah.
about, we didn't have any expectations. We didn't know if we'd see these people again, but we did. We didn't know we'd tell our moms we were camping with each other and be in Denver.
I mean, it just really took on a life of its own with not a lot of effort.
Just
Right?
it was the path we were meant to take in this
Yeah.
life, and
It was just
ended
fun.
up being fucking brilliant. And it was the last of the last. Like
I mean,
said.
I'm telling you, it took a lot of balls to do what we did. And, you know, there's...
to be so young and have those balls.
Exactly.
To know the kind of women we were then.
And we were just like, let's have fun. See where it takes us.
And I don't mean like sleazy women. I mean strong, independent women that made our choices and made no mistake. We were not the party platter for the rock stars. We didn't live, although we did influence those girls in the movie Rock Stars. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there was a few of us like that around, but there was definitely, you know, a certain groupies that were there when a lot of the times. And we had a lot of when.
Yeah.
Times.
Yes.
So, you know, but we were very strong women as young girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nobody fucked with us. And people
We knew what we
protected us.
wanted.
And they took care of us. And we always got home safe.
Yes.
Mhm.
That was always the constant at the end of the night.
And another advice, ladies. If the rock star wants to fly you out, you don't book that fucking ticket. I hear this all the time.
No.
Oh, I booked my ticket. No. There's 3 words. Make it happen. Hang up the phone. He'll call you back with the travel plans.
Yep. It's not up to you to book your own ticket. No.
You're either on the bus
That's
or
a,
the plane
yeah,
and in first class on the way home.
yeah, that's a rookie mistake. Don't do it. Because if they're not, I mean, if they want to fly you out, you just say, all right, well, just these are the times that I'm available, and you can book it during these times. You
coordinate with each other's schedule. They
Yep.
have so many days off in New York or Boston or Fargo or freaking Little Rock, wherever.
Right, Miami.
Did you know, I don't know if it was Huey Lewis or I think it was actually Alex Van Halen that paid off Sweet Connie's house for her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. That was hers. Like who was your one in rock and roll?
Who was my one?
Yeah.
I'd have to say Adrian.
That's right. And you called it. You predicted it that day at the jewelry store.
Mm-hmm.
You did. You did.
So I'm technically engaged to Adrian Vandenberg.
Still to this day.
Yeah, we never broke it off.
It's still, that ring is still on my
We're still. Do you think that he's paid it off by now?
He's got one more payment to go.
One more payment. He was paying like 57 cents a month.
A year at this point.
Yeah, a year. It was a beautiful ring.
Yeah, it was. It was really nice. That was really nice. Yeah, I don't know. Mine was somewhere between Vinny and James, probably.
Vinny for you. I never, that I.
Yeah, that was Seattle when
Yeah.
we got together. That was just a crazy night. And then fucking 8 years. I never would have thought. I never would have predicted him.
Yeah.
Like, we all knew how I felt about James back then, but that was my first one.
Yeah.
You know, when you get... and there's always going to be a special connection with your first one, but your first one for a reason, because you're meant to leave him behind.
Yeah.
And trust me, James likes it. He likes my ass. Because he's an ass man, and he's seen to walk away from him plenty.
Yeah.
You know, but we're strong women, and that's one thing we've all carried through our whole lives.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah.
I think that...
Go ahead.
I think that a lot of people have a skewed vision of what it's all about. And I think that we just had such a different experience than what you think it's all about.
Well, because most people, and especially this generation, like,
yeah,
our generation's kids,
mm-hmm.
all they have to really base it on is scamming Les Pars and Almost Famous.
Yeah.
And that's a very, very tiny, tiny box of what rock and roll, the groupie lifestyle, the actual...
Can I just tell you that Almost Famous would really never happen to anybody?
No.
It's...
I mean, it did happen to Cameron Crowe, but it wasn't based on the LA scene. It was based on a woman he knew from Oregon.
Yeah.
Penny Trumbull. And actually, her niece recently reached out to me because I did a video on this.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, because, but we came from a generation where by the time that book, I'm With the Band, came out, how long we were already 3-4 years into our little rock and roll lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know?
It wasn't, I don't know. It's just like we never really noticed those things, though. We were really, truly in our own little world.
We were.
It was... I just can't really explain at all how it was.
No.
You just really had to be there.
You did, because you got lost in the conversation. Yeah. You got lost in the moment. You got lost in the energy of not just the musicians or the concert, because most people, that's all they see. That is rock and roll to them, is the concert.
Yeah.
Seeing those musicians live on that stage, that for us was... kind of the after party of our little rock and roll experience.
How many shows did we actually watch?
God. Oh, we watched into the thousands, probably.
I mean, watched us
from
beginning to end.
Oh, God, no. We were wandering around all the time. We didn't even watch the whole shows because we got bored because we saw the same shows over and over and over again. How many times did we see David Lee Roth? And Guns N' Roses.
Remember the Iron Maiden Guns N' Roses?
Yeah, isn't that when you used to... No, that was Molly Crew and Iron Maiden. Or Guns N' Roses. Yes.
Remember? We changed rock and roll forever.
Oh, is that when the 18 and over happened?
Yeah.
I can never remember, and I've talked about that, and people don't believe me.
Yeah.
Because these 16-year-old girls were talking shit about us. Mm-hmm. We were friends with the cool little security guard, the old man.
Right, but we were hanging out with the tour manager. Oh.
We were hanging out with the band.
And the tour manager came and picked us out. And...
because he already knew us.
Yeah.
And they were like,
name?
ladies.
He was like the dark...
I want to say Quake.
Maybe.
There were so many tour managers. I remember Ian Jeffries and Jake Berry.
Yeah.
But Jake was production.
Yeah.
And Rex King, who was, he did Metallica, but he did The Who a lot. People know Rex from the poker scene and Almost Famous. Those people at the table are the real names of people. There was Rex and Cy and people that we actually knew, not
Yeah.
just the 70s chicks.
Yeah.
Because, you know, those 70s guys, they were done with the 70s chicks by the time we came along.
Yeah. They wanted fresh meat. And we were the freshest.
And the last. Preserved. But, yeah, that Iron Maiden Guns N' Roses show.
That was quintessential. And, I mean, it wasn't just Salt Lake City. I think it was, I mean, after that, I think every tour put that rule on that.
They did.
They needed to ID you.
Well, those girls shouldn't have been talking shit about us.
Yeah.
Had they not been talking shit about us, I wouldn't have gone over to the fucking little old man and said, hey, check those girls' IDs. We were all 18, or at least had a fake ID, I think.
If we weren't 18, we were.
On paper.
Hey, as long as you can prove it with some official identification,
But
that's how
we
old
could
you
get
are.
fake IDs easier back then, and here's the thing, though. That's all the guys saw. They didn't see our real IDs,
No.
which had Brighton High School on it.
Did we have driver? Well, no.
I didn't tell I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
No. Did you have one on Hawaii?
Oops.
We had backstage passes, not Hawaii, not driver's license.
We had backstage licenses.
And what was your famous quote? We'll never get married. There's always going to be a band in town.
We are never getting married because there's too many bands in town. It makes it really hard to find a boyfriend.
Oh, God, it does.
Right?
Yeah, they don't like it when you come home the next morning with someone else's smell on you and a backstage pass stuck to your ass.
Yeah, no. Because it's just easier being single.
When you're doing that.
Single-ish.
And that's what rock stars are for you're
Right.
single, you know. You have
I mean,
relationships,
you're
you
kind
break
of
up.
not single because, you know,
You're
the person
committed.
that you're with is just traveling a lot.
And people always ask me about this ring that's on my finger. It's a treble clef. Certain lead singer said, darling, you don't date normal. You belong to rock and roll. Scrub it up. Come back to the boys. And he sent me this ring because I'm married to rock and roll. It's
Sure.
been a bigger fucking stone. Just a tiny little goddamn thing.
Jeez, cheap asses.
I know. He has a good mouth, though. And it was a joke anyway. His daughter designed it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's nice. Because we all have little weird memories. Like,
Yeah.
we don't have pictures. We have,
Little snippets in our brain.
well, not just the snippets, like little weird things. Like, Henrik, I have a pic that he used to brush his hair with.
Yeah.
Vinny got me that furry purse in Vegas from the Hard Rock. Or, like, in the kitchen on the wall, I have the Hard Rock Do Not Disturb sign from John's room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have normal, like, you'll see a
Memories.
box of junk that you think is junk, but for us it's like, oh, that was the hotel room key when.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here was my boarding pass too.
Yeah. I still have a ton of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. My one to and from Japan says Arison. A-R-I-S-O-N.
Arison?
And I don't mean that wrong. That was so wrong, but it's what it says. I was like, no. No. No.
That's not my name.
I don't know how I got on that plane. That was when
Before-
Cousin Amy and I escaped the Yakuza.
Oh.
We got ourselves, but we were smart. We knew never to paint ourselves in a quarter.
Mm-mm.
And if we saw that quarter coming,
You exit quickly.
get the fuck out. Whatever you gotta do.
Mm-hmm. First class ticket home. And sometimes we would call other tour managers and say, I know we're not on
Where
your,
are you guys?
I know you're not on our tour right now, but could you, I'm stuck. Can you book me a flight home?
Yeah, but we never.
And
we
they
only had
would.
to do
They
that a
would.
couple
They
times.
totally had our backs.
Yeah, because there are times you fight and you just and things and this is why you've got to trust. And We were young as fuck.
Yeah.
Trusting these guys and telling our parents we were camping. Do we look like the kind of girls that go camping?
We did go camping, though.
When?
Just the two of us.
That's the tour bus.
No.
That's not camping. When did we go camping?
I don't know. Do you remember the time when me and Daddy took shrooms? And all we did was walk one block?
Yes!
That was not like a rock star night. That was just a me and Danny night. Me and Danny connecting.
Yeah.
I don't know where you were.
Do you remember when we took acid at your grandma's? With Petey?
Yes.
Oh my God. And
Oh
you
my
had the rainbow. I was in that bathroom. Okay. This is what these motherfuckers did to me. This house is all dark. And because we were like, oh, let's turn the lights out because we're starting to trip. And we're watching Aladdin,
Yeah.
the cartoon.
Yes.
I go in the bathroom. And there's wallpapers with flowers. And I'm like, just watching the flowers bloom.
You were in there. Oh my God. I just realized what we did to you, and it was all Pete's. It was all Pete's idea.
Well, this is what happened.
Should I tell it or you tell it?
Tell it.
Okay. So she's tripping balls, okay? We're at my grandma's house.
And the flowers are blooming in the bathroom. I'm just
Okay.
minding my own business.
She goes into the bathroom to go to the bathroom, and Pete goes, let's turn all the lights off. Like, all the lights off.
Fuckers.
So when she opened the door from the bathroom, it was just black.
And the only thing I had to
And
say
she didn't
is...
go in there.
I just stopped. I just stopped outside the door and I was like, oh my God, it's dark. I'm like, the colors must be coming.
I don't even remember what you said.
And then you took us in that one extra bedroom where the rainbow, and
Yeah.
you're like, watch this. And the lights were out and she turned them on real quick and there was all these little rainbows all over the wall. We're like, God, do not watch cartoons while you're frying on acid. It is
No.
not as fun as they say.
Is that the night that we designed our,
Oh, those Halloween costumes.
and where did we wear them?
To except right before we went to LA when I was
Yes.
with Lemmy and we got our bellies pierced.
Yes.
Yes. And we were on stage. I was fire, or she was fire, I was ice. And we took these sheer, like, pantyhose from Frederick's. This is why we don't
Bodysuits.
shop at Frederick Hollywood. It's too cheap. And they were these bodysuits, and we painted, like, flames and icicles
Yeah.
in strategic spots on my bells, our bells,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and hoo-haws. And that was it. Just these little, and kind of, did we even paint? Yeah, we painted the ass crack.
Yes, correct, yes.
And we had these capes and stuff, and our hair done up, and this makeup. She had flames on her face, and I had ice on mine. And we go to accept, and there was an opening band that was a really killer opening band.
I don't remember who
That was at the same hotel. That was at the Hyatt House across from us when we went to LA the next weekend.
Yeah.
But so anyway, and we were on stage with Accept during Balls to the Wall because they saw us walk in and they're like, ladies, you need to dance on stage with us. And it was this really stiff painting with this
It was
pantyhose
hard.
material. This one bends over on stage and
There it goes.
there it goes.
There's my ass
Didn't miss a
to
beat.
the world.
She didn't miss a beat. Body's a vessel. It's our heart and souls that they were after.
Yes, totally.
You know.
That was fun, but then we went down to LA.
Yeah, and that's when we
At the Troubadour.
at the Troubadour with Lemmy and those two girls. Remember the Slut Sisters from Salt Lake? We're
yeah,
walking
they were
in.
there.
That's right, remember? Okay,
And
in
I'm
the
like,
book, I talk
what?
about the two girls that I saw at the Rat concert when I very first moved to Salt Lake City. One with the bleach blonde and the black hair.
Yeah.
When we were down in LA for this trip, and this was what, about 92-ish?
No.
I had started
I don't
dancing.
remember. Anyway.
Because when I came back, I went to the Miss World Topless, and Lemmy was a judge.
Yeah. We. Okay.
We had booked the room. I mean,
Yeah.
this was a planned trip.
Yeah.
And we got to the room, and we were like, we went to the Troubadour because somebody was, the band that was opening up for Accept, they were all playing.
Yes.
At the Troubadour. That's
Yes.
why we went to the Troubadour.
And then we're like, oh, it's Accept. I don't know that we even knew they were going to be there.
Well, no, because remember the guys from the opening band? We called them at the Hyatt House,
right.
and they came across the street to our hotel.
Right. Yes.
And we were hanging out with them, and we
All
went to
coming
the
back to me
went
now.
to the Troubadour, and the Slut Sisters walked in, and we went to the bar that just to the right before we went
I
up to the
remember
VIP.
who was wanting to take me home.
Robin.
No, Don Dawkins.
Don was there?
Yes.
I was with Lemmy from the second I walked in that place. I was just, he wanted me to do drugs. Like drugs I don't do. He's like, you want to come? And he was kind of surprised. He's like, you sure you don't want to come to the bathroom? I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't want to sniff anything, especially off the bathroom at the Troubadour.
Yeah.
LA Sluts' asses have been on that counter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot Don Dawkins was there. I remember, because that was after when we met Lemmy.
When we went to the Rainbow and went upstairs, then we met Robin.
No, Robin was at the Troubadour that night too, because he was sitting on you at the Troubadour.
Okay, because we went upstairs to the VIP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Accept was playing, and we watched him from, and the other band guys, the opening band guys that we met.
Didn't they have us come up on stage again?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
We were, because I remember getting just drunk as fuck, because Lemmy kept, you need another Long Island iced tea. I was like, whatever that is.
It's a drunk wedding. Oh, and remember when we first got there, we took a little walk down Sunset Strip, and the guy
who pierced our bellies.
No, the guy who we were walking down. Is that on the blooper roll? You gotta put that on the blooper roll.
Don't make me laugh when I have to go to the bathroom.
Sorry. I have to pee
Too many accidents have happened. Hold on. Okay, we're pausing. Okay, guys, so we've kind of taken a break because we've been babbling for a while. We had to go to the bathroom. Because, we're out of bubbly. So we were somewhere, but we've been a lot of places. So tell me what you guys think. Would you like to see a podcast with us? And you know who called me for the first time after a decade?
Who?
Or texted me?
Who?
Marie.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
What was... Why? I mean, she was missing you or what?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know how we all connect back together. Like I said, we're a family. Whether it's rock and roll, like you still see Phil from, what's the band?
Saigon Kick.
And a few other people around LA.
But
yeah, you still run into each other. We all run into each other some way, somehow, again and again and again.
God, what's the guitar player from The Cult?
Billy?
Yes.
He was one of Steve's best friends.
I run into him all the time.
Yeah. In LA, you would.
I run into Tommy all the time, too.
Do you?
Yeah.
You still hold what you think is his arm?
I actually really love his wife. She's very amazing.
Yeah, I like this one. I don't know what to think about some of the other wives.
We didn't really, think of though.
But nobody was married for us to think of.
No, everybody was young.
Because that's another thing that people give a shit about. It's like you don't realize it's not the rock stars that you guys know now. It was the rock stars when they were too young to be married. They didn't have girlfriends. They didn't have wives.
Most of them were all single. Jeff Keith wasn't single, but he was always a really good boy.
He was.
He was fun to party with, though.
And even though Who's Dated Who said I slept with him, I never slept with him.
No, he was married the whole
Yeah,
time.
he was a good boy.
We were always just hanging out with him. If we were with him, it was a funny friendship kind of thing.
He was a DJ at a strip club. I did a feature show in Sacramento.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's the only time you ever saw me naked. Because they're like, oh, here, I was in my little private dressing room doing a feature show at I don't remember the name of the club, but they introduced me because I always had my private DJ. And they have my DJ come in the dressing room, and I was like, well, isn't this a flip around? Last time I was in your dressing room.
Well, yeah, and the drummer from that band was
Troy.
Yeah,
McKenna.
and he was always good.
And then since I slept with him too, because I said something about that little party I had on the back of their bus.
Yeah.
And I said, Tommy and Frank and Brian, all of Tesla.
Yeah.
Well, they took it as all of Tesla. Not just those guys that were in Tesla.
No. I mean, 3/4, I guess. I want to get technical. Wait.
Well, 2.5 because
1, 2,
I didn't
3, 4,
see Brian
5,
come in,
2
and that
fifths,
lasted about
whatever.
a minute and a
I
half.
forget about the bass player a lot.
Oh, you're so
Kind of an ass.
I was like, who is that? What? Get out!
He was just. He didn't really want to have fun, so me
He's
and
just an asshole.
me
He
and
was
Frank
angry.
and Tommy and you kicked him out.
We did. We kept the riff.
They're not going to
out.
comply with the fun zone.
You're out. Because you gotta hit the fun zone.
Yeah.
Ladies, that's another lesson. If you want to be a groupie, don't just lay there on your back. It's not just about the rock stars. Remember what I say? Tap, tap, tap. If you're ready to tap out, get them out.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. And with
Anyway.
that said, here we are, guys. So, would you like to see us on a podcast? Tell us down in the comments.
Let us know.
Maybe we will.
Want more of this stuff?
Maybe Danny will join us too. You've already heard me do one with Danny. Yeah. And we've just been babbling for an hour, and this is what, our 4th video?
I know.
So I personally
can't
thought
stop
it's something that's
talking.
been in the back of my mind. Because it wouldn't just talk about our stories. We would reach out to other areas like I do. Like I just did Star Stowe, or who was the real Penny Lane, or, you know, the backstory behind this or that, or the Playboy Mansion.
Mhm.
And also I think we'd
I've
make
been
really
there
great
too,
So
but-
have I. It was disgusting.
Mhm.
Hated it. I was like, that grotto got some disease, and it has been proven.
Yeah.
That grotto had some fucking organism that science could not identify.
I used to live around the corner from the
Did you
Playboy
really?
Mansion. Yes, I did.
Nice. Skeezy ass fucking place. Where women were commodities and Hugh Hefner was a pimp.
Yeah.
But it sure looked fun from the outside.
No. I mean, it was fun to go to parties and stuff there.
To say that you were there,
Yeah.
yeah, because I went to like 3 parties.
Yeah.
One with Steve.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, if you want her, go. I'll be over at what's his name's house over in the Hollywood Hills.
Right.
I'll see you at your house
See you
later. Because ladies don't put up with shit.
Yeah, no.
If he's gonna walk away with another woman, you go find yourself another man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you just, I don't know. You just have to have a lot of
If
confidence.
the lead singer pisses you off, blow his drummer.
True.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And with that said, let us know what you guys think about a future podcast down in those comments. Don't forget to go down, fiddle about, hit a few little G spots on the way down. Go buy the book, buy the merchandise. Tell Kristin we need to start a podcast. But all right, guys, and thank you again, because I haven't said it because we've been drinking. We've just sort of been pressing the stop and play button. Thank you for all the love, all the support. And I hope you guys have really enjoyed Kristin the way I have. She looks awesome. I love her hair. She looks totally classic. Absolutely nobody can pull it off like she can. So thank you guys, everybody, for why you posting.
I don't know. I'm just
Because she looks good.
Because I'm like, checking myself out.
Yeah. I know. It's weird. But all right, guys, go down. And we will see you guys next time here on Cocktails and Rocktails.
It's
Cheers,
the bottom of the
Vickers.
glass.
Yeah, we're empty. She'll get a drop out of it. Trust me. I've seen some guys, but that's another story.